I'm Johnny Vegas, and you're listening to KopTalk with Dunk. And all you other Liverpool sites, just stop embarrassing yourself, all right?
Yo, what up? This your boy Smooth, straight from New York. You're listening to KopTalk Podcast. Remember this, you never walk alone, but if you fuck with us, you walk with a limp.
All right, guys, how's it going? It is Thursday, the 11th of May, 2023, and you're listening to the KopTalk Podcast in association with footballclubshares.com, where you can buy real shares in real football clubs. And I get a kickback from it as well. How's it going, guys? You all right, yeah? See, I like to be transparent, mate. No, Football Club Shares is a little website of mine. The theme's not working at the moment, actually. It needs looking at, but... No, yeah, just I have a few shares in some Italian clubs, just as a bit of interest to give me, something to, to shout at when I'm watching the Italian football. And you don't need to be minted, you can buy them like 20 quid, 30 quid, something like that. And the real shares, they're not like novelty shares or anything like that. So anyway, I thought we'd do a podcast update today for those of you that like to listen to the audio. I don't know where to start, to be honest. I guess we should start with like a roundup of what's been going on, really. Rafael Leo, you'll have heard of him before. He is with AC Milan. He'd been linked with Liverpool. He's a Portuguese attacker, right? And he'd been linked with us recently, albeit very weakly, and apparently he's agreed a new 5-year deal with AC Milan, so he won't be going anywhere anytime soon. Did you watch the Milan derby last night? It was outstanding, wasn't it? I really enjoyed it. I love Italian football, I really do. And the Milan derby is like, it's just like a cauldron, it's really good. Real Madrid is said to be eyeing a double swoop for Jude Bellingham and Kylian Mbappe. So this is according to The Telegraph, who are saying that the Spanish giants are ready to revive their long-term interest in Mbappe. Now, if Mbappe leaves PSG, I think that's a little bit squeaky bum for us. I mean, there's nothing to suggest that is the case. I'm already watching PSG for rumours and reports, speculation, anything concerning that club at the moment in the transfer market, because I want to see if they are really going to come sniffing around Mo Salah, or as Fabrizio Romano would say, Mo Salah. I'm keeping an eye on PSG. So I don't want to see the Telegraph start telling me that, they're going to might lose Mbappe to Real Madrid. So that is a concern for me. I mentioned it briefly in a video today on KopTalk.tv on YouTube. So, never mind Bellingham. I think most people have given up on him anyway. Romano was again reiterating or pushing home that he will be going to Real Madrid. He said today that he's agreed personal terms. Now, normally we say, well, big deal, agreeing personal terms. A player that's available can, agree terms with half a dozen clubs, it doesn't matter. But he's really pushing it home as like he's really going for it, saying that Real Madrid is on. And to me, as I keep saying, the sooner this guy sorts out his future, the better, because we can put it to bed. I cannot go on all summer listening to the hopes of our fans, and even, myself in the back of my head thinking, well, he hasn't signed for anyone yet. Could he stay where he is another year? I don't know, but I hope he doesn't. Many of you guys probably hope he does stay there, so you might get him next year. Me, I just think, no, go and sign a 10-year deal with Real Madrid, and then we can put this to bed, because it's soul destroying, it's draining, and it's not the conversation so much by the fans. It's the fact that our owners, you just know with these people that you're going to be disappointed. So let's move on. You've managed our expectations. We get it. Just move on. But until he signs for someone, it leaves the door open, and you can't help it, can you? Now, Liverpool have been named the greatest club in the Premier League for a second year running. I did a video on this today as well. Leading the way in the Sport Positive Environmental Sustainability League, the Reds scored 24 points out of a possible 27 points. Now, they've actually quoted Jurgen Klopp for this, right, the club, right, and it says, discussing this achievement, right, the Liverpool manager said, this is a fantastic achievement and something everyone at the club should feel proud of. The higher up we can be in this table, the better, I would say. I see firsthand the great work we do under the Red Way, whether it's the food players eat that's grown in our allotments or the sustainable fuel we use in the buses we travel to away games in. This is not just important work, it's vital work, and we are leaders in this space because it's the right thing to do. It's as simple as that. Well, guys, obviously you can tell by the tone of my voice that I'm taking the piss a little bit. And the only reason I'm doing that, right, is the environment. I care about the environment. I do, honestly. I really care about the environment. But I'm not really sure I give a fuck about allotments or food or buses right now. All I'm bothered about right now is them fuckers proving themselves, right? And delivering something that's going to soften losing out on Jude Bellingham, if that is the case, right? So no Liverpool fan in the world, as much as they may care about the environment, they might have their own allotments. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Right? They might have solar panels and everything. But I guarantee you, every Liverpool fan in the world does not give a fuck about Liverpool being named the Green Champions again for the second year running. Absolute piss take, in my opinion. And I don't think Jurgen Klopp said that. I think that's just the press officer saying, Jurgen, we need to just put three. Yeah, just do what you want. Because that's what happens as well, trust me. The agent of Sporting Lisbon star Manuel Ugarte has admitted his client is likely to be on the move this summer. Now, let's cut out the guff around that. Let's just go straight to the quotes. Right? I like to focus on the quotes and not let the journalist brainwash me one way or the other. Liverpool, there is a lot of talk, but it is not the only club. There are others. There is much talk, but I am still not sure about the club. There are many possibilities on the table. It's almost certain that he won't stay. It's sure he will leave. I believe that in 15 days, the situation will be resolved. Soon I'll be in Lisbon. I trust Jorge Mendes, who is the best agent in the world. In fact, when I told him about Ugarte for the first time, he said to me, your eyes are my eyes. What the fuck does that mean? Good job we pronounced that right. Imagine if it said your ass is my ass. You know what I mean? Your eyes, your ass. Anyway, but Mendes, very good relationship with Liverpool Football Club there, guys. This is a genuine primary target. Liverpool waiting. Maybe they've done all they can. I do think it's related to what might happen with McAllister. Got to keep the feed down on that. And I can see these two coming in. But at the moment, I feel like Liverpool have presented everything. They've done everything. And now they've got to wait and see. And maybe Ugarte can't happen until there's a decision from McAllister. Who knows? Looking today, we'll talk about this a little bit later. It looks like Liverpool are currently focusing on goalkeepers the last couple of days. 90min.com, that's a website that I would urge you not to pay attention to, but you make your own decisions, obviously. Very speculative website that just sources everything else. They're saying they're looking to bring Aurélien Tchouameni. Is that how you pronounce it? Tchouameni? I don't fucking know. To Anfield this summer, potentially on loan initially. Obviously, Liverpool, put a lot of effort in trying to make that happen, and Liverpool do not, it would be foolish, to say, all right, Liverpool made him the all or nothing signing, didn't get him, and now have no interest in him. I doubt that very much. So I think Liverpool will be monitoring that situation and what they do with their own transfer business at the moment. However, these claims did not come from 90min.com initially. I've seen those claims floating around for a couple of weeks that Liverpool are still keeping an eye on him. So, you wouldn't rule it out. You wouldn't rule it in, but you wouldn't rule it out because, we know that Klopp is a big fan of his. Aston Villa, they're understood to be chasing Real Madrid midfielder Marco Asensio. He's out of contract in the summer, and he's a long, I don't want to call him a target of Liverpool, but what I'll say is he's been linked with Liverpool for a very, very long time. And because he's free, I'd keep an eye on that. But Aston Villa linked with him, and they were also linked with Vlahovic weren't there the other day, which surprised me. He's a great player. I really like him. Is there anything else that we can give you? Okay, yeah, the goalkeeping coach, of course. Not goalkeeping coach, the throwing coach. It was announced yesterday that he will be leaving Liverpool Football Club. It was pushed out by the click as a mutual decision, but I watched his video about leaving, and while there's no bad blood there, and he's like, they're just Liverpool want to, try and do their own things or whatever, which is fine. He said he would like to have been, he didn't want to leave, basically. So I don't really think it is a mutual decision. I think it's just a case of Liverpool said, we're going to do our own thing. We don't need you. And he said, fine, fair enough, great. If you ever need me again, you know where I am. He was, I think he was quite influential. And I'm very surprised at this departure, to be honest with you. I don't understand it, really. I'm sure it didn't cost a lot of money, but I'm sure people that don't like FSG will say it's just another setback, not a setback, another cutback. But again, it's more people leaving, leaving the club. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure, life goes on and all that. But at the time, it was like seen as a bit of a. I mean, I remember thinking, the fucking throwing coach. What are you talking about? What do you need to know about that? But the statistics showed that he did make a contribution. I remember Andy Gray and Richard Keys taking the piss out of that. And I think it backfired on him quite a bit. So I'm really surprised with that news. Anyway, Jurrien Timber, you've seen him linked with us recently. He's been talking about his Ajax future, right? And he says he'll choose the destination of his next club carefully. He's confirmed that he's going to leave Ajax this summer. He's 21 and he'll be leaving at the end of the season. And Liverpool have been heavily linked with him. He impressed during the World Cup, as the Netherlands reached the quarter-final stage, before being knocked out by eventual winners, Argentina. He's admitted he's yet to decide on where he'll be playing next season. Now, he's been quoted by a Dutch publication called Ziggo Sport, and he said, "It's the same situation for me as last season when I'm saying I'm leaving, it has to fit. Important is the style of play and playing minutes. Competing for prizes is also important. My favourite country? I dare not say. That's why I'm doing the same as last season. The chances there, it can happen, but I'm also comfortable here. I'm still young, and here everything also suits me. I'm going to watch quietly." So he's not really giving much away. He's just saying, right, I'll be making an announcement in due course, I guess. He has been linked with Liverpool, but there's nothing to suggest that Liverpool are going for him at the moment. I would say he's down the pecking order. I think there's other priorities that Liverpool are looking at the moment, and when things become a bit clearer on that, then we'll see. I think they're focusing on them big, midfield recruitment opportunities at the moment, and stacking a few little deals here and there. But this week it sounds like they're looking at goalkeepers, and it says here there was reports in Germany Liverpool are poised to sign Hannover 96's 34-year-old former Germany international Ron Robert Zieler as a backup goalkeeper. Now, there's quite a few goalkeepers being linked with us at the moment in the last couple of days. So that does suggest they're making inquiries on that front, okay? The Times say Tottenham and France goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, 36, has an offer to play in Saudi Arabia next season and triple his current salary. At Spurs, Fabrizio Romano says Arsenal is set to announce an extension to 21-year-old England forward Bukayo Saka's contract, which will run until 2028. I don't know if you can hear, there is noise. I'm sat near a window and the windows are open. This is a glorious day. We'll see how that goes. I don't want it to annoy you. The Telegraph say Newcastle revived their interest in Leicester 26-year-old England midfielder James Maddison. 90 min, they touch on Liverpool being interested in Aurelien Tchouameni. However you pronounce his name. The Mirror, Tottenham want to secure a replacement for former managing director Fabio Paratici before finalising plans to bring in a new manager. Football Insider say Man City have turned their attention to Chelsea's 29-year-old Croatian midfielder Mateo Kovacic as an alternative to England midfielder Jude Bellingham, who is set to join Real Madrid from Borussia Dortmund. That was Football Insider. Sky Sports say Wolves are interested in signing Coventry City and Sweden striker Victor Gyökeres, 24. The Telegraph say PSG are set to lose France forward Kylian Mbappe with Real Madrid's pursuit of the 24-year-old back on. Il Mattino from Italy say Napoli have increased their asking price for Victor Osimhen to €160 million. That's £139 million in anticipation of a bidding war for the 24-year-old Nigeria striker. Record in Portugal. They say Liverpool are ready to meet the £52 million release clause for Sporting Lisbon's 22-year-old Uruguayan midfielder Manuel Ugarte. Again, we know that this is a genuine link or development. Well, I'm not going to say that is a genuine development, that Liverpool are ready to meet that clause, but what I'm going to say is that player is absolutely, definitely subject to a recruitment attempt by Liverpool. Recruitment attempt by Liverpool at the moment. Football insiders say Manchester United are monitoring Inter Milan's 25-year-old Argentina striker Lautaro Martinez. ESPN say England goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, 24, is close to agreeing a new long-term contract at Arsenal. Team Talk says Sunderland are planning to offer Jack Clark a new contract to fend off interest from Crystal Palace and Brentford in the 22-year-old English forward. And finally, Chronicle Live, which is a North East publication, regional publication, say Barcelona's 26-year-old Brazilian forward Rafinha, who has been linked with Newcastle, has rubbish claims he is open to a move away from the new camp this summer. So that is your gossip roundup, guys. Now, I'll be honest with you, I think it's a little bit quiet at the moment. I have done a number of videos today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos on KopTalk TV on YouTube. If you want to go and see them, they're not all about football, but they're just little bits here and there. And if you enjoy following the videos, take a look at the one that's titled "We Made KopTalk TV Great Again," because I'm kind of asking for people's feedback on how to do things moving forward, and it's your community. I want to give a shout out to those of you that support this podcast. You can support this podcast if you so wish by going to www.koptalkpodcast.com, and for the cost of a coffee once a month, you can become a supporter of the podcast. You get all the adverts removed, you get the private episodes when they do them, and I'm telling you what I'm hoping to do in the future is make the KopTalk membership available via Patreon to the podcast supporters, if you like. I need to find a way of doing that, and I want to create like a membership so you can join via Patreon, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, and get all the audio, the video, the editorials, the comments, the rumors, all the credible stuff on the platform that you guys prefer. And then the VIP members website will be a separate entity. That's like if you want to be part of the community, you'd have to do that separately, because I need to find a way of making things a bit more automated. But you will benefit from it in the long run. So I know some of you guys, you're not VIP members or whatever, you just want to be here for the podcast. That's great. We will keep the podcast going, and I'm very, very grateful to all the names of the people that I'm about to read out that are on this supporters list. For a start, the likes of Liam Buckland, James Braid, and Jack Hughes. We also have Wayne Brown and Tom Brown, Simon Digweed, Mark Bingley, Jimmy Negrete, Jamie Gilmore. We've got Harry, Hamza, Glyn, Clint, and Aaron O'Dowd as well. We have Craig Halford, who is a legend. We have Tyler Dean Williams, who is a legend, as is Paul MC, Matt Meeker, James Lee, Jack Wood, and Jack Rudgley. They're all legends. So is Big Wave Dave and Andrew Evans, legends. And then we have our royalty. We've got 3 royalty. We've got Michael Couchman, we've got David Sutcliffe, and we've got Adam Naylor. And I just can't express how grateful I am to all of you guys for supporting KopTalk and myself. And it really, really does make a difference. Someone sent me a message yesterday saying, I think they chipped in $1.99 on KopTalk, on that what's it called, super thanks thing. And I went, sorry, I can't do much more. I said, hey, don't be daft. Listen. Can you imagine if every single, person that watched my videos or subscribed to YouTube gave me £1? We'd have enough revenue there, wouldn't we, to buy like all new computers. We could get all the new computers, all the new gear. I'd be traveling all over making videos and podcasts and stuff like that, because with the revenue, I invest it back into things. I've obviously got to pay my bills and my taxes and things like that. But, so trust me, every penny counts. And you guys, it's always the same guys that support me. Some people can't support you and would if they could, because $1.99 to them is massive. Do you know what I'm saying? So the way around that is you can support the podcast by listening or by emailing podcast@koptalk.com, If you're, on YouTube, you thumbs up the video. It costs nothing. Leave a comment. It costs nothing. And I'll be honest with you, the positive comments, sometimes when I'm having a bad day, whether it's work-wise or private, sometimes I read a comment and I think, you're making someone happy, Dunk, so don't throw the towel in. It keeps me going, trust me. So it's not all about financial support. There is, friendship support as well, if that makes sense. But if you do want to join the squad, it's www.KopTalkPodcast.com. Okay, guys, there's no emails today. I plan on being back with you tomorrow, hopefully. Friday. It really is dependent on the news, guys, as to what's going around. I'm going to England at the weekend to see my son. I've not seen him for 18 months, I think, which seems a long time. I'm not sure that's accurate, but I don't know. I really haven't seen him for a long time. So, no, it probably is right. I don't know. I'm not going to be around at the weekend with podcasts. And Monday, I travel back. Excuse me. And I don't fly. It's a late flight. So I expect if you don't have a podcast episode on Friday, the next one will be Tuesday. But we will see. All right, guys. I'm always around. Keep me posted with feedback and things like that with the podcast. Do you want me to include, if you're a patron, do you want me to include more of those interviews like that I upload for you sometimes, stuff like that? You can comment on the Patreon website and I'll see it. Okay, what your thoughts are on that. I'm conscious, that I don't put a lot of content out audio-wise at the moment, but I'm just trying to find the best way of doing that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, stick with me and I'll find a solution. But do keep the feedback coming. To be honest with you, I kind of think it works best when I do a podcast and I set myself a target through the week, right, I'm going to do this recording episode every morning or every afternoon. So if you're a patron in particular, would you prefer like waking up in the morning thinking there'll be an episode ready now, about 9 o'clock or something like that, 10 o'clock? Or would you think, I'd rather have it at 4 or 5 o'clock in an afternoon? I guess if it's in the morning, it's going to be kind of more the previous day's news and maybe a look ahead. If it's later in the day, it's going to be right, this is what's happened today or what's going on. But sometimes, guys, it's just, the same shit. And, like tomorrow, it could just be the same topics that we've discussed today. Does that make sense? And I don't like to insult you, so let me know. It's your podcast. I'll do what you want, me to do. So take care, guys. Thanks for listening. Don't forget www.KopTalkPodcast.com if you want to support the podcast. And the more support I get, the more I can justify putting time into this, if that makes sense. Because I have to prioritize everything. Okay, guys, I do appreciate you listening, and we'll speak real soon.